From the First Coast News Studios, this is On Point with your host, Shannon Ogden.
Last year, early fall, something like that, these Keith Haring-like paintings started popping up on utility boxes around the Riverside, San Marco areas of Jacksonville. And the first was one of an angel. It was dedicated to Trayvon Martin. And the artist was anonymous, working under the moniker Keith Haring's Ghost. He developed plenty of fans around town. He also developed a trail of cops looking to arrest him for criminal mischief. Well, after the better part of a year, Keith Haring's Ghost was arrested and booked into the county jail under his actual name, Chip Southworth. And Chip joins us on Point. It's nice to have you here.
Thanks.
Welcome to On Point.
Thank you.
Did you know when you started doing this it was illegal?
I had actually approached people in the city and cultural council early on, and I knew that it wasn't legal, but I also knew that they were talking about making it legal. And like most street art, kind of falls into a gray area.
Right.
And most people's advice was just to go ahead and do it and ask forgiveness later. And so.
So why specifically utility boxes? Why not, buildings that you knew were safer ground or something like that?
Well, the utility boxes just looked like trash. I mean, they were just in complete disrepair, covered with stickers and places where people had graffitied it, and then people had come along and sprayed gray paint, like in squares all over them. And after years of that, they just look like trash, and then they've got bits of stickers, or the city should probably pressure wash them, but they use grinders like to sand them down, and then they take off all of their protective coats.
So what prompted you to get this ball rolling in the first place?
Well, I think it started back I guess when the city failed to pass an equal rights ordinance is when I really started getting interested. And I'd been kind of re-falling in love with Keith's art, and I kind of liken it to the Cars music. In the 80s, I was completely sick of listening to the Cars, but then you don't listen to it for 20 years.
Enrico Kasich's not
awesome.
bad when you come back around, yeah.
So I had kind of completely re-fallen in love with his art, especially as an adult who now has, formed mature political views, and, and I think that, my part of the project wasn't to go out and paint the boxes so much as it was just putting them out there, to kind of try to start the conversation, to
so
keep
that really
it going.
was the genuine purpose behind this. It wasn't just because obviously you're a talented artist. It wasn't just to get your paintings to help beautify the city. You really did want the message out there.
Absolutely. I mean, the one thing that can be said is, I can do a successful gallery show, and maybe 2,000, 3,000 people see it over a course of a couple of months, But then you put a piece out on the street, and that message is conveyed 1 million times in a week, It's a whole nother ballgame.
So, I have so many questions. First of all, when were you physically doing the painting, and how? I'd seen you on television. You had your face disguised or hidden. Is that how you were painting, or were you just like any graffiti artist does? You kind of are looking out for the cops and.
Yeah, I mean, you do that, but. I wore a respirator, to protect my lungs from the paint and stuff, but, which, covers most of my face. Right. But I would just go out late in the evening, and it wasn't just so much to avoid cops, it was to avoid everybody. I was trying to stay anonymous. And,
so why anonymous?
Because it is Keith's art, and I think it was a much more beautiful project with the anonymity. The anonymity also protected my family from people who were, kind of on the far right, if you will.
So, at what point did you start hearing, despite all the the love for these things, and there was plenty of that. When did you first get the inkling the cops were looking for you, and this thing might turn south?
I was in Art Basel for 10 days doing some painting and stuff down there, and I also had a show.
So just the first of the year, whenever that was? Yeah.
It was first week of December, and some people had shared an email with me between the city council and different groups in local government, and said, you know, that they were wanting some answers, and you know, I still didn't hear anything for several weeks. I hadn't really done any work since early December, and then the day after our shared past opening at the Comer, I was doing an interview about that, and I started getting phone calls just left and right, you know, and I checked my cell phone, and it was family members saying that they had been approached by the police, and so that was you know, my first kind of hint that they were serious, you know, and that's when I started talking to you guys. And
so ultimately, in what, a month or so ago, you surrendered, something like that?
It wasn't that long ago. I mean, they came and got, you know, came and got me.
Yeah. So what actually are the charges, and where does that stand now, and how's that going to resolve?
Yeah,
Is that
you know,
the big question?
that is the big question. You know, my attorneys, John Phillips and Reed, they're both awesome, and I think they're on top of it. But we haven't gotten any formal offer from the state attorney, and you know, my attorneys don't want me to talk about it, but you know, I mean, it's just there's really not much to talk about.
As an artist, as somebody who has a passion for this city and for downtown, does the fact that there are criminal charges attached to this strike you as somewhat absurd?
Yeah, I think they are absurd. I mean, but I don't just think they're absurd for me. I think they're absurd for any artist, you know. I mean, the kind of money we spend in this city, tracking down graffiti, we could easily cover all of it or take it down or just allow for some of it. I mean, that's part of what we're going after here. Right now, we're trying to get some legislation passed between the city council, the mayor's office, and the cultural council that would allow, you know, street art like this, that would allow paintings on these boxes. It would allow for more street art on buildings.
Are you okay being the poster boy for this cause? Because you certainly will be once this becomes a more formal conversation.
I mean, I just think it's a natural thing for the city. I mean, it's like I said, I mean, Miami, Austin, Phoenix, Portland, you know, you look at all these successful cities right now, and what is the common thread? It's street art, you know, and culture.
And Chip, we're out of time. Two quick things. Do you regret that this has happened the way it happened?
Yeah, I regret that it happened the way it happened, and, you know, I regret that, you know, that I was, you know, unmasked the way I was, too.
Would you do it differently if you did it again?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and we'll certainly be following this closely. And anyway, good luck to you. And for what it's worth, there are a lot of fans of your art around there. So
well, hopefully they can come out and check it all out at One Spark. And
very good.
You know. All
right, Chip Southworth, it's great to have you on.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Well, we're just a couple of days away from One Spark. Nice segue, by the way. It's going to take over downtown Jacksonville.